What's going on, everyone? This is Jason, and here I am recording a video about Apple. Why am I recording a video about Apple, you say? Well, this channel does cover Apple, so there you go. But it has been announced, it is announced that Apple will have an event tomorrow on April 20th. It is Apple's April 20th event in 2021 that has been announced, and it could feature things like a new iPad Pro, new AirPods 3, and much more, possibly. Now, here's what we can... It's finally here. Yes, I know they didn't do an event in March, but hey, let's get to it. So, here's what we can expect for... Let's do a new iPad Pro. Now, iPad Pro 2021. I'm sorry, iPad Pro 2021. Now, just a summary of what might come. Now, I did a video on the iPad Pro. I will definitely post it. Definitely, just... it was like in January, so I will have to go and find it. But I will definitely post it in the description, so you can watch that video for a more in-depth, detailed summary of what exactly is going to go into the new features of the iPad Pro. Okay, but in summary, the iPad Pro was updated last year in 2020, but it didn't feel like an update to the 2018 iPad Pro because it still had the A12Z chip. But it still kind of had that, but was an upgrade to the A12X chip with an extra GPU core enabled onto the iPad. Now, unfortunately, this put the iPad Pro in an odd or awkward position with Apple's recent release of their new iPad Air, the iPad Air 4, which recently had the A14X chip in it, which not only was more powerful in single core performance, but it even had features exclusive to it that the iPad Pro couldn't do. Like, for example, changing the video resolution and frame rates in the camera app. That was something that now the iPad Air can do, but the current iPad Pro cannot. So hopefully they will change that this year. Now the iPad Pro will finally get an update to the A14X chip, and it will be a 2-generation chip jump. Now, this won't have... you won't have to worry about the performance of this chip because you're not going to have to worry about the performance of this chip because it has the performance... actually has the performance based off of the A14X chip, which should see similar performance as in the M1 MacBook Air, and so we should see a similar performance in the M1 MacBook Air and an A14X equipped iPad Pro. So since it was based off of that, you're going to see a similar performance, and that is exciting. Now, the current design rumors speculate and expect that the 2021 iPad Pro are pretty much going to look like the previous two versions. But we will be getting a huge, amazing upgrade in one of the biggest display upgrades ever to the iPad in its history, with the introduction of a mini LED display to the, unfortunately, only to the 12.9-inch model. I feel like they should do it with the 11-inch model, but Apple these days doesn't do what Steve Jobs did, which was pretty much make things as fluid and seamless and consistent. But anyway, now what is a mini LED display? Well, just to summarize it real quickly, a mini LED display is basically more smaller LED lights behind the display, which can turn on and off in zones. Now, because you can control smaller zones with more precision, this actually leads to picture quality which with significant benefits over standard LED displays. Now, these benefits include these are major benefits, and they include things like higher contrast ratios, deeper black levels, higher brightness levels, and better light control for higher dynamic range in HDR videos. So you can view HDR content just like you can do with the iPhone with the OLED displays. Now, recent rumors say that the mini LED display will only be, of course, for the 12.9-inch model, like I told you before. Now, Mark Gurman from Bloomberg actually has put out a recent article saying that Apple is experiencing supply issues with the display components, and the 12.9-inch iPad Pro could be in very limited supply, or it might actually ship later than the 11-inch version, which won't have the mini LED display, which I think is a huge mistake. It could be a technology issue, but that iPad is big enough already. It is huge enough, I would say. There's no point on making it for the 12.9 inch and not the 11 inch. You're just gonna set it behind another year, I would say. Now it should also be the first iPad. These should be the first iPads with a 5G modem as an option. With 5G modems on the cellular options in those iPads which nobody really cares about. I'm just gonna be honest. Now there is a wild card prediction that Apple might update the iPad mini. Now I think the iPad mini needs a huge update. We haven't really heard many rumors recently for this iPad, but there are two competing rumors for the iPad mini itself. And I have to say, I agree with this first one in ways where, I would possibly buy it if I really needed one, or if I was to get it for someone, if it included this rumor. The first rumor is that it would have a newly designed iPad mini with an iPad Pro-like design, that we would have an iPad mini, newly designed iPad mini with an iPad Pro-like design, with smaller bezels, removal of the home button, USB-C port, and support for the second generation Apple Pencil and the A14X chip, the A14 chip. Let me just fix that. The A14 chip. Now the display size. This rumor says that it is to be 8.7 inches. This is the modern design in a slimmed down mini level. Now, the second rumor is not as flowery. It's not as cool, cute, pretty, whatever you want to call it. It's not as fascinating. It says that it could be more of a disappointing release, which could only feature a slight design change, slightly narrowed or narrower bezels, and it would mostly have the same design with the Lightning port, and the only big upgrade would basically be the A14 chip. Now, I will go on to the AirPods 3. Now, I am not looking for any new AirPods because I just got the AirPods Pro and I am fascinated with them. I pretty much love them to death. I would love for them to just fix the noise cancellation feature and boom, they're golden, man. Oh boy. All right, now the AirPods 3, we don't have too many rumors, but when looking at a lot of the AirPods, they look a lot like the AirPods Pro, according to a lot of photos, including with a shorter stem, which should have new squeezable gestures as well. Now, leaked photos show that the AirPods are incorporating a dual design. Now, out of the box, you would actually have it look like it looks like it could fit in ear. So, like the normal AirPods, where you just put them in your ear, just like they would look, and they would be sitting in your ear, not isolating the sound, just like the silicone air tips would. Now, the rumor is that you can have silicone air tips with these AirPods, like the AirPods Pro, just like the AirPods Pro do. Now, the changing the design of the AirPods and how they fit in the ear could be risky. It might be risky. Now, some prefer the AirPods to fit in their ears than than the way the AirPods Pro do, but the AirPods Pro, they raise the bar in terms of the sound quality than, of course, do the regular AirPods. Now, part of this reason for this better sound, for this better quality sound, is because they have ear tips which better isolate the sound in your ear, which is why noise cancellation and transparency mode work really well. Now, with this dual design, you can wear these on your ear, which don't block out the sound, and you can also have the option of putting in ear tips, which you can do if you care about the sound quality. Now, you won't have the transparency or noise cancellation mode, which I know it sucks, but hey, you know what? That's kind of, Apple has to come up with a certain set of features that don't exactly mirror the AirPods Pro, because then they would go out of business with those. Now, you also have this model will most likely have the H1 chip, a smaller case than the AirPods Pro, because the AirPods Pro, it's a very wide case and it's bigger, and they would have wireless charging instead of the $50 add-on, so it should pretty much retail at around $150, just like they do now. Now, the Apple TV, it might get a new refresh. It might include a brand new remote, and it could be focused more around gaming, with the inclusion of the A14 chip. Now, Apple TV right now currently ships with the A12Z chip, so there's a definite need. It definitely needs a chip update to which Apple wants. If Apple wants to focus on AAA gaming titles, they need the A14 Apple TV, and that will be powerful enough. It would be maybe more powerful than even, say, the Nintendo Switch. Now, look, I mean, if a TV is more powerful than the Nintendo Switch, that is incredible. Now, they might have a chance at the gaming space with the right strategy, with the right gaming controller. Now, if they do that, they could compete in the gaming space. I don't really see that. They maybe can't compete in the gaming space because they don't really have a good gaming strategy, a good strategy for gaming, and that's a problem. Now, we might see AirTags. I know we've been hearing about AirTags for the last 20 some odd years. No, maybe like in 2018, early 2019. Late 2018, early 2019. And they are these little kind of tracker devices that can go on your bag, they can go inside your bag, they can go on your keys, they can go on your phone, they can go wherever you need them to. And then if they are ever lost, any kind of one of those products, then someone with an iPhone can ping that device and it will tell you where that device is. Now, of course, Apple is working with some third parties to add some of these features. The one thing that Apple's going to have to focus on, of course, is privacy, and Apple's all about privacy. So, now they're also saying there could possibly be a new redesigned iMac with the M1 chip. I don't know if that's going to happen. I doubt that's going to happen. They could possibly expand their services. I don't see them doing that. I really don't see them doing AirTags either. But definitely iPad, AirPods, and new cases and new colors for the Apple Watch, for sure, for new color bands and all of that. So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is my Apple update. And I'll possibly do another video on the actual Apple event. Whew, that was a long video. But new iPad Pro, new AirPods 3, possibly new Apple TV with a new remote focused on gaming. Probably not going to happen there in terms of the gaming. With the new A14 chip, I would love to see an A14X chip. Maybe a new iPad mini, hopefully the first redesign. And with an 8.7 display, smaller bezels, removable home button, basically iPad Pro. And of course, AirTags and maybe an iMac, but don't expect that. All right, well, like, comment, share, subscribe. if you like this video, and let me know what are you excited to see at this Apple event. All right, cool. See you later.